Hey friends, welcome back to Simply Home and Harvest. I'm Jen, and today we are preparing for a lot of rain and wind. I know that so many of you are right in the path of this hurricane. I think Helene, is that right? Which was just upgraded to a hurricane. So my prayers are with you all, and our thoughts are with you all. I hope that you all are safe and doing what you can to prepare for the storm. I'm sure that by the time this video reaches you, it will all be over, and hopefully everything is safe and you are all well. So my plan was to get ahead of the rain, but the rain has already fallen. I've got to run to the grocery store to get a few more ingredients, and then we are coming home to start the process of making 11 dozen donuts. Pumpkin spice apple cider donuts. So I thought it might be fun to take you along on this journey. I'll tell you a little bit more about that when I get home here in a few minutes. And I'll give you the recipe if you hang on and stick with me. All right, let's go. All right, I'm back from the grocery store, and let me tell you guys, it was a madhouse. Everybody was getting their bread, their eggs, their milk, just like you would in a snowstorm. So I'm glad that I have things in my house, and for the most part, I am prepared. I have a stocked pantry that I'm working on restocking, and if you're interested in how you do all that, I do have some videos on keeping a stocked pantry and inventory and all that. So you can go back to those after you watch this video. I'll try to remember to link that below, but sometimes I don't remember to do all those things. But anyway, having said that, and we'll do more videos on that this fall for those of you that are new as well. I was glad I didn't have to get a whole bunch of stuff. I probably have what I need to make these donuts, 11 dozen donuts. You're probably wondering why I'm making 11 dozen donuts. I'll get to that in a second. So I probably had all the ingredients I needed. There was one thing, apple cider. I was almost out of that, so I did have to run out for apple cider, and I thought I would just go ahead and get some extra stuff just to put back so that we have what we need. Hopefully we won't lose power during this weekend. We do have a generator that we can call on if we need to. Thank the Lord. We have not had to use our generator since we bought it, but I'm thankful that we have it in case we do. All right, so back to the 11 dozen donuts. So last weekend, our youth at church had a bake sale, and I decided to bake some donuts for the bake sale. Now I baked apple cider donuts, but in the past I have made baked pumpkin spice donuts for my family during the fall season. So I had the recipe already for that and looked up one for the apple cider. Anyway, long story short, they were a huge hit. I had people asking me if I would make them and sell them. My husband was behind me trying to push me to make them and sell them. And I don't have a lot of time on my hands. YouTube keeps me pretty busy. But you know, we need more money these days, don't we? Things keep going up and going up. And so I always say use what you have. And one of my resources is being able to make donuts right now. So I thought I'll make some donuts, maybe make a little dough in the process. So that's the way I can use what I have and make a little extra money. And I thought that you probably would like to know how to save money. And that's another thing. You can save money by making these donuts, because have y'all priced donuts? For those of you that are into donuts and love to have your fall donuts, if you will stop in the donut section at your local grocery store and take a look at how much a box of Krispy Kreme donuts are, it will blow your mind. The specialty Krispy Kreme donuts at our local food line, like the fall season donuts, the last time I looked and they were on sale, was half a dozen for $11.99, 6 donuts for $11.99. And then my mom was telling me the other day that a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts were $20. So you will save money by making this recipe. So what I'm gonna do, I know I'm talking way too much for some of y'all, but so I just had to give you the backstory on that. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna go ahead, I'm not making the donuts until tomorrow. Today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. I'm gonna make them tomorrow, and then they'll be ready for pickup on Saturday, and then some people at church are getting them on Sunday. But I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping some so that I'm not so overwhelmed tomorrow. We have something we need to do tomorrow morning. I have a brand new niece that I need to go visit. So I want to be able to spend some time with my family. So I thought if I could prep ahead, then I would be doing good. I'm going to get all the dry ingredients that I need together today. And then tomorrow I'll put together the wet ingredients, mix it all up, and we'll get to baking. Now, this morning I did something that would help myself out a little bit too. The pumpkin spice donut recipe that I'll be sharing with you it makes about 6 donuts. That's half a dozen. And then the apple cider recipe that I'm using makes about a dozen donuts. So I had to multiply the apple cider recipe times 5 and multiply the pumpkin spice recipe times 10 to get what I needed, the number of donuts I needed for what I'm baking. And hopefully we'll have enough, and if we don't, because some of this I think it will make a little bit more than what it says, judging by what it did last time. So I may have to, go in and make a little bit extra, I don't know. But I wrote everything down, went ahead and calculated all the measurements so that I would have them and not have to sit there, in the hustle and bustle of baking and do all that. So that's a tip for you if you're making big quantities of things. You could jot that down, and then that way that takes a little bit of extra stress off you. And then if you want to do the same thing I'm doing, you have it already for a larger quantity. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking and get to measuring. So that's what I'm gonna do first. I'm gonna measure all my dry ingredients. I'll show you that process, but I will link the recipe to making smaller batches of donuts in the description box below. So you won't have to have a recipe for 66 donuts, okay? We are going to be making in total, 132 donuts. Is that right? I think that's right. I think I did the math right. I've already done algebra today. Homeschool mom brain is fried for today. But I think that's right. Okay, so less talking, more working. Let's go. Something else that I'm gonna do real quick that I forgot to mention to you is I'm gonna go ahead and make my apple cider reduction today. And that's just where we are reducing our apple cider on the stove, and it just makes for a more intense flavor. It really brings out the crisp apple flavor of the apple cider, and you'll be able to tell it more in your donuts. So we needed 7.5 cups of apple cider to start with. So I'm gonna get this going on the stove. We'll get it to simmering, and then we'll check it every 10 minutes. It'll probably take about 30 minutes or so to reduce. We need it to reduce down. Let's see, I made a note on it, I think we need it to reduce down to 3.5 cups. So we'll check it periodically. I'll probably have to measure it, maybe put it back on the stove if it's not quite there. And that way we'll have that much done as well. All right, since we have our apple cider on the stove, we'll go ahead and do our measurements for the apple cider donuts first. All right, guys, well, I got all of the dry ingredients at least measured out, which feels really, really good to have that done. And the apple cider is still reducing on the stove. So to increase the recipe like we've had to, it takes quite a while for that apple cider to reduce, because we are starting out with 7.5 cups of apple cider, and it's got to reduce down to 3.5 cups. So it's probably going to take, I'm estimating, another 15 minutes. We'll check it. I've been just kind of measuring it out with this glass measuring cup that I have just to see where we are. And right now we need another cup. We need to reduce by another cup. So we'll continue to let that go. We've got some family coming over to celebrate a birthday tonight. And so I got everything cleaned up, but I know it's done, and that's just one thing that I can check off my list. And this task won't be so daunting tomorrow when I have to make all the donuts. So I'll bring you back tomorrow and we'll continue on with our project. All right, y'all, it's baking day. It's actually the next afternoon, and I'm getting ready to get started on these donuts. I'm going to do the pumpkin spice ones first. So I've got all of our dry ingredients, and as much as I could prepare yesterday has been done. So that is a load off. So now I'm gonna get all of our wet ingredients mixed in this bowl. Then I will transfer everything to the larger bowl. We'll get our donut pans piped. I'm gonna spray these. I've already got my oven has preheated to 350 degrees. So once we get, how many is this? 2 dozen. So once we get 2 dozen piped and ready to go, I'll get those in the oven, and I'll have to bake them in 2 dozen batches, which means I hope I'll get to bed tonight because I think I'm starting this way too late. All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to get our pumpkin, which we need 5 cups of pumpkin, which is right at 3 cans. I'm gonna get that into our bowl along with 2.5 cups of vegetable oil. We have that prepped from yesterday. And then 2.5 cups of milk. Did I already say that? I think I did already say that. Got our 5 cups of brown sugar. So we're gonna get that into this bowl. And then everything else is already mixed for us. And we'll get that into a piping bag and we'll start filling these up. I'm gonna put you on a time lapse so you don't have to see all of this in real time. Guys, we got it mixed, and I'm glad I have my big bread making bowl here. I'm probably gonna have to clean it out and transfer the apple cider donuts to this one as well. Now I'm gonna get Ella to come back and help me. You saw she had to help me pour the wet ingredients into the dry, but now I want to get this into Ziploc bags. That's gonna make it a lot easier to pipe this into our donut hole pan. So that's gonna take a while. Our next step is our coating on the pumpkin spice donuts. I've melted a stick of butter in total for everything that we're making. We'll be melting 2.5 sticks of butter. And then we've already got our cinnamon sugar coating here. So I'm just gonna put that on a plate. We're going to dip our pumpkin spice donuts, and then we're going to coat them in sugar. and then we'll be putting them on baking sheets just to cool off. And we're gonna do that about 70 times, and then we'll do it again 70 times on the apple cider donuts. Now, I don't know how long this operation is gonna take, so again, we'll just do the time lapse. And then at the end of the video, I'll try to go over all the steps that we did. Okay, here we go. Ella is breaking into the donuts. She's gonna do a taste test, but she doesn't want to be on camera.
That's really good.
Really good. 2 thumbs up. All right, yay. Okay, so now we move on to our apple cider donuts, where we prepared yesterday.
Makes me want to slap my mama.
Oh no, don't do that, because I gotta work for 3 more hours. All right, so we're going to get started on that. I'll show you the process, and hopefully we'll wrap this thing up soon. So we're gonna set this bowl to the side, and now we're gonna work on our wet ingredients. So this is 10 tablespoons of melted butter for this recipe that we're making, but I am going to link for you in the description box below. I can't remember if I told you this or not, the original recipe, so you will have it for a very small, or a lot smaller of a quantity. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the butter and the eggs. I've got 5 eggs here at room temperature. And brown sugar or white sugar, milk, vanilla, extract. I'm gonna get all of this together. I'm also gonna add in our reduced apple cider, which we have right here. And then I'm gonna get all this mixed together, do the same process all over again, and we'll just speed it up for you. I just want to take a moment to thank my daughter Ella for helping me with this project. She was a tremendous help to me all night. She helped with the baking part. She helped with dusting the donuts. She helped box the donuts. She helped write the labels. And it was so nice to have her hang out with me, because we were not finished with this until about 11:30 that night. I was so exhausted that I did not want to record an outro to this until the next morning. And so the next morning I got a beautiful testimonial from my family about how much they loved the donuts, and we were delivering them and all of that. I had that footage, and somehow I accidentally deleted it from my phone before I could transfer it over to edit it into this video. And I am so disappointed in myself for doing that, because I would love for them to tell you in their own words how they felt about the donut operation and how much they love the donuts. Now, I will tell you that both donuts got excellent reviews. However, the apple cider donut was the winner from just about everybody that gave me feedback, including my family. So that's the pick in this house, apple cider for the win. But I thought both were equally delicious. Everyone enjoyed them. Yes, I was exhausted. And I said I probably don't want to see another donut for a few weeks. But I've already got people asking for me to make these again. And I'm thinking I probably will end up doing it at least one more time this season. So that's a wrap for now. Everything went extremely well. The customers were pleased. We were able to get our kitchen put back together, and everybody got along through the whole process. So that's a win-win. But I just wanted to say that before signing off. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was fun to hang out in the kitchen with you. Now, my next time with you will be a YouTube Live, and we are scheduling that right now for this coming Sunday, October the 6th at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we would love for you to come hang out with us. We're going to make something yummy, do some Q&A, answer your questions, chat a little, just get to know you guys. And that will be, again, this Sunday, October the 6th, 7 o'clock here on YouTube. So be sure to mark your calendar for that and join us. And we look forward to you hanging out with us. So until next time, remember to live simply, use what you have, enjoy the moments you've been given, and I will see you all on Sunday.